What's up, Blazers? It is I, Hope Giselle, and this episode is brought to you by Audible.com, an Amazon company. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Blaze Entertainment, or visit sponsor and supporter links on our website at entertheblaze.com. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, let's start the show.
You're locked in to the hottest station on the
Hey, Blazers, it is I, your girl, that party, that bitch that y'all love to hate, Hope's Disguise. And I'm here with my bomb-ass partner in crime, Mr. 50 Shades of Gay. How art thou?
Bitch, I thought you said my bottom ass partner in crime. I was gonna be like, the shade is real, bitch. You started real early, but you said bomb ass. Girl, I'm good. I'm just over these fucking hurricanes, bitch. Like, I just don't understand what we did to have to go through this pummeling of this motherfucking rain and this all this water and all these winds and things. I'm just over it, girl. Like, first Harvey came through, tore shit up, and then his bitch came behind him, his deranged baby mama. She like, bitch, you gonna pay me my motherfucking back child support. I just hope they got their shit together.
Now, if I want to be technical about this, we did a couple of different things to deserve this, considering that we sitting on the phone as a gay guy and a trans woman, bitch.
A bit, right.
There's a couple of different things that we did to deserve this, as according to the Christian folk, okay? But,
right.
So,
but other than that, child, I'm living.
I was going to say, like, outside of Harvey and his bitches and baby mamas and things, like, how are we feeling?
Girl, phenomenal, iconic bitch.
Okay. Good. The shrimp that I just got. Excuse me after the Blaze, because, like, when I tell y'all these shrimp are so good, bitch, and I've been on my feet all day, and these are just, like, taking me all the way to heaven and back, bitch. Okay. But anyway. So before
I am unable.
We have to acknowledge some of the fucked up shit that's happened. And our heart goes out to a couple of different people this week. And the first one is Mr. Dexter Pottinger. Pottinger,
girl. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Pottinger? Because I've heard so many different pronunciations, to be perfectly honest with you, and nobody's ever corrected anybody that said them. So I'm just going with the flow. But Dexter was the Jamaican Pride leader, and he was found dead, which is really freaking unfortunate and sad. Wait, what?
You read it correctly.
So
I'll just give my ends. I'll talk about that because I've been keeping up on that story. So, in the second person that our heart goes out to is 19-year-old Kanika Jenkins and her family. 19-year-old Kanika Jenkins was found in a walk-in freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago. Now, there's a lot of stories that are surrounding her cause of death. So allegedly, she went to a party with her other friends. I think there were like 3 or 4 other girls that she went to this hotel party with. It was her friend's birthday, and they were celebrating her friend's birthday at the hotel. Now, the friend whose birthday it was, she was employed by this hotel. So allegedly, her friend set her up for $200. She was raped and killed, and they drug her to the freezer and basically left her there for no one to find her. The freezer in which they drug her into was inoperable, so whoever drug her into the freezer turned the freezer on and turned it down to its lowest settings. Now, there's a lot of contradicting stories. A lot of people are saying that the story that the investigators are giving is, they're saying there was no foul play involved. They're saying that she wandered into the freezer and just died there. Somehow got locked into the freezer and froze to death. So without going into any further details about this particular tragic murder. Again, my heart goes out to the family of little Miss Kanika and Mr. Dexter. That just goes to further justify the fucked up world that we live in when you set your friend up for $200. If that is true. If it is true.
And that's the thing. I've been trying not to put my mouth on that situation. I've had people inbox me countless times. I think after this show, I'm going to have to go live because my hopefuls are going to be in my ass if I don't. But
yeah,
as far as the
crazy.
situation goes, to me, it's a very touch and go. And I try to choose my words very wisely when there's death involved, because I don't like to ever offend anybody who's lost somebody.
Right.
But when it comes down to this particular situation, I find myself quiet, not because I don't care, but because there's too much hearsay, he say, she say. I think my cousin twice removed also worked at the hotel said, and I just don't. I've been trying to, just be affected by the fact that, I've been trying to be mute, but also be affected by the fact that no matter what, the consensus is this young black girl got set up to be killed by black men. And so no matter what how it happens, the problem is that there are black men out here that are targeting black women, and this has been happening forever. And so that's the bigger picture for me. But as far as the hows and the what's and the details, until I get me some solid proof, or until a bitch says, hey, this is what the fuck happened, and I agree to this, that, or the third, I'm kind of keeping my mouth off of that part, because the stories have been jumbled so much in the last 3 days that I don't know what to believe no more. But my heart is with her and her family, and as well as Mr. Dexter's family, because nobody deserves any of that foolishness. So I'm going to need you to please educate me and the folk on Miss Katie Quackenbush, okay?
Yeah, sure. So this is actually news out of Nashville, Tennessee, where I currently reside. I ran across this particular news article today, and I was just like, bitch, this news article read white privilege. I know we talk until we're blue in our faces on Blaze Entertainment, as well as after the Blaze, about white privilege and how it's such a prominent issue in our society today. But Katie Quackenbush, or however you pronounce her name, she's a white lady. She shot a homeless man after he asked her to move her truck. Miss Katie was charged with attempted murder and held on a $25,000 bond, which basically means she was required to pay $2,500 to get out of jail. Now, my issue with this is, had this been Katrina from down the way, over there across the street, over by the railroad tracks and the projects, had it been her who shot a homeless man and was charged with attempted murder, she would have been held on a fucking $25 million bond.
Right.
And that's troubling to me, because Katie Quackenbush is probably somewhere right now enjoying a fucking venti pumpkin spice latte while she shoots the shit with her best friend at the local fucking Starbucks, getting ready to go to work at her corporate position without a fucking trace of the horrible crime that she committed. That's what I find fucked up. And again, this particular situation, amongst a lot of other situations out there, read white privilege. So yeah, I found it to be very interesting.
I agree. I think that what's really troubling to me is the fact that it also has a deeper meaning. What does that say about the way that we feel about homeless people? And
exactly.
how we treat people who are homeless. Because what that also says to me is, oh, bitch, it was somebody that was homeless. So what? She shot him. Oh well. You know what I'm saying?
But the most fucked up part about it, I read this article. The homeless man asked her to move the truck because the truck was running where he was sleeping. He was sleeping on a bench, and he began to inhale the exhaust coming from this truck. So he politely asked this white lady to either move her truck or turn the truck off. And that's when she became irate. An argument ensued, and then that's when she jumped out of the vehicle and shot him in his abdomen.
To me, because like you said, had it been Keisha, Tasha, Tyrone, and them,
Right.
Lil Baby and Bookie them, oh man, it would have been blown all the way up out of proportion.
Bitch, we would have been held. They would have been held on no bond.
No bar. On the basis of human life. You know what I'm saying? But because it was Miss Katie, oh, it's like, oh, this is a slap on the wrist. I mean, he was homeless.
Right.
I mean, yeah, like, it is public domain. She didn't have to move her truck. You know, like, that's what they say.
Right. He's homeless and she shouldn't. Right. He's homeless and he shouldn't have can't come after her. And no, bitch. Just because he's homeless, he's a human as well, and he didn't deserve to be fucking shot in the abdomen because he asked this white lady to move her fucking truck. And I'm pretty sure this homeless man had absolutely no weapons on him.
Like, to me, it's all bullshit, and I definitely agree with you when you say that it's white privilege, because black people cannot do shit like that and walk away, like you said, to go and get their motherfucking venti latte. Like, we can't do that. And
especially if it's a black person who, shot a white person. Oh, bitch, let that not happen. Let that not ever happen, bitch. You're being thrown under the fucking jail and charged with every charge there is known to man and given a life sentence only because you're black and you shot someone white.
Yep.
Child, that's too much for my spirit. I ain't got time. I'm trying to stop drinking, and shit like this just make me want to go get me a fucking fifth of Hennessy.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna step off of that one and give you a time to catch your breath and calm down.
Thank you.
One of my sisters, trans sister Monroe Burgos, was one of the faces of L'Oreal, right? Now, to some people, that may not mean a lot. That may not mean nothing, but this L'Oreal don't play. L'Oreal is the bitch that has Beyonce on $1 billion contract, okay? So, to be the face of L'Oreal and to be transgender, no matter what state, city, region, or wherever it is, bitch, even if it's only one ad in your entire life, it's big. This girl was dropped because of some statements. And the statements read verbatim, most of y'all don't even realize or refuse to acknowledge that your existence, privilege, and success as a race is built on the backs, blood, and death of people of color. She is quoted saying that your entire existence is drenched in racism, right? After making those statements, not only did she get dropped, but she received a lot of backlash online. Now, 50, I'll let you go in and talk about the facts and the details. What I'm going to talk about is that social shit that bothered me. When this story dropped, I saw it initially on Love B. Scott, and then, of course, it trickled from Love B. Scott to the Shade Room. The shit that bothered me was the ignorance and the amount of ignorance coming from black people.
Right.
Talking about everything under the fucking sun except the fact that this woman was talking about people of color in a positive light. You got all of these black bitches like, oh, she's not a woman. You got all of these black men like, oh, she ugly as fuck. You got all of these people like, oh, but that's a tranny. Like, why the fuck is this? Like, I mean, forgetting that she's defending black people. And it's not, I don't see too many, if at all, because I'm going to be honest, I did not see. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that they're not there because, the Shade Room gets 1,000 and a million comments at one time. But I did not see in my 30 minutes of scrolling one negative comment from a white person. One. But you have all of these black people that are upset that she's trans. Not congratulating her or thanking her for being on a platform and saying those things openly and honestly, no matter what the fucking outcome was. But because she's trans, bitch, let's talk about that part. That's the shit that blows me.
And that's the most fucked up thing about it. It's like you have someone who identifies as a trans woman, again, using their platform for, to fight against the things that people are often mute about. She's using her voice to advocate for the equal treatment and abolishing racism and all of that stuff. And our people can't see past the fact that this individual is unusual, or this individual lives a life that you don't understand, or this individual identifies as the gender that they're comfortable being. They can't see past that enough to be able to congratulate or to thank you for being that beacon of light in our community. And that in itself is fucked up, and it speaks volumes on the quality of the damn, I can't even talk, the fucking quality and the climate of our community, specifically the Black community. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in those comments, there probably were a few of the girls talking shit too.
Yep, definitely was.
And that's fucked up. That's
definitely
fucked up. But hey, that's the society that we live in. It's like if your identity is abnormal, then what you have to say, whether positive or negative, holds no merit in our community, bitch. Not even if you're supporting us 110% and backing us through any forms of racism. You don't matter. We don't care.
But it's not even also just about identity, because it's also about the look. Because now when you say the girls were commenting on the fact like, oh, she clocky. Maybe if she didn't look like a tranny, it'd be received better. And I was just like, it don't matter what the fuck she looked like. She said some bomb shit. And regardless of whether she's cocky or not, she's on a L'Oreal ad.
And I'm gonna support you in like several times I've heard you say those individuals in the trans community who aren't clocky and can afford the various surgeries that give them that shape that is wanted by a lot of women across the land. It's those individuals who have nothing to say.
Yeah.
It's those individuals who have nothing to say, and that in itself should speak volumes. Now, I don't condone anyone being talked about, or anyone being bullied, or anyone lashing out on someone because they're remaining silent. Because they're being vocal, remaining silent. I'm sorry, but if you're going to lash out on anybody, it should be those girls who are on mute.
Right.
If you feel the absolute need to lash out on anyone, it should be those people who are quiet. And these girls don't realize that. They don't understand that.
No, because it's about the slay. It's about the slay, and it's about the light.
Right.
And it's about
but it's not. It's not.
The trade. Yeah,
it's not. But because honestly, I would be more likely to support those individuals who support areas of our community that have a negative impact on us. That's just me. I would be more likely to support those people, those advocates like yourself, those advocates like Laverne Cox, those advocates like Monroe Bergdorf, however you pronounce her name. I'm more likely to support them. No shade to the other girls, but girl, what are you doing for our community besides looking cute on camera?
Right.
Anyways.
You cannot accomplish that at all.
I'm unable.
So let me hop into this shit, because it's one of those things that I've talked about before, and I feel some type of way about it, and I'm happy that it came back up because he got on my Todrick Hall. Visionary.
Child.
Like when I say visionary, talented beyond belief, but that motherfucker is so gentrified it don't make no goddamn sense. Okay.
He's what?
He's just, how do I even want to put it? Aside from being gentrified, he's whitewashed. He's the biggest Oreo that I ever did see, and then some. And he's definitely benefited from the idea of being able to blend into white culture. It bothers me, not that Todrick, did the friend thing for Taylor Swift, because for those of you guys who are listening, you just like, what the fuck is Hope talking about? Like, why don't she like Todrick Hall? I like Todrick Hall's work, but as a person, I don't stand behind him. What happened was basically with this whole bullshit going on with Taylor Swift and people saying that she sold the Formation thing, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. People are also coming for Todrick's neck because Todrick was in the video and helped to choreograph it. Todrick's response was, Taylor is my friend. We are actually friends. And when a friend called me and asked me to help her with this, of course I said yes because she's my friend. Now, I don't have a problem with that. First of all, I agree with Todrick. I didn't see anything Lemonade-esque or Beyonce-esque with the video myself. I'm not going to ride the bandwagon with that just because people want to be mad at Taylor, for whatever.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw a white girl and some gay boys in heels. I didn't see anything lemonade-y about it at all. But the thing that bothers me with Todrick is that when these issues come up, he likes to say, oh, I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. I'm not this. I'm not that. But you are. And I've said this 1,001 times when referencing Todrick. As a black boy from Texas, you moved to LA, and your excuse, because Todrick has reached out to me personally on my Instagram and wrote me a very long ass response when I made a video about him a couple of years ago addressing this topic. And he said that it was hard to find black people in LA that had the same goals as he did. Bitch, you a whole fucking lie. You are a whole lie and then some. Every gay boy that looks, thinks, dreams like him is out there in LA trying to be a dancer, a singer, an actor, a triple threat, or something. And it bothers me that when Todrick puts out these bomb-ass pieces of work, he's the only black person and the only black gay male represented in them outside of, as of late, RuPaul. And I think RuPaul is problematic as fuck too because he's another one of those black gay people that has made it to the top and then don't want to fuck with black gay people, which throws me and it really bothers me. And then you give us these bullshit ass excuses like, oh, there aren't really black gay people or black people that want to be in this thing, and most of my friends are white because that's what I was surrounded. No, bitch, that's what you surrounded yourself with. That's why most of your friends are white. But once again, back to the casting process. When you cast, do you give black gay queer men a chance, or are you?
I was just gonna say that. It's like if you feel that way and you feel there wasn't a representation of those individuals who look like you in the area that you relocated to, knowing the platform that you have created for yourself, and you're completely evolving into this cinematic, creative singer and dancer. Like you said, you do all of these grandeur videos and productions, but the representation of those individuals who look like you in these particular videos are slim to none.
There ain't no slim to none. There are none. It's not even slim to none. There are none. He has a token 2 black people in his videos now, just so that people can't say that there was nobody black in them. But that's only as of late. That is only as of late.
And I just honestly recently started following him. I never really featured him, not because I didn't care for him, but I just never felt the need to feature him.
If you go back into his old stuff, like I'm telling you guys, there is literally not a trace of a black person that is a male outside of him. And when he does depict black women, they are the stereotypical light skinned, almost white looking bitch. Like if you blink too hard, she looked like she was white. You don't know what the fuck she was, kind of girl. And it really blows me, even especially in his last project, which was Straight Outta Oz. That was a very personal but also social statement that he was trying to make. And there were slim to none black people in most of those scenes. I think I counted one scene. My friend Irving was a part of the production. So that's one black boy, and then there was another guy with dreads. So that's about 2 black people in the entire production outside of Todrick. It bothers me that also when he chooses love interest for his skits and shit, that it's always this white muscle-bound guy. And then when he's saying this is his last song, like the little dance track or whatever, or when he sings any song that's a dance track, and he's talking about big booties, he always got a little skinny white bitch that ain't got no booty. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Like, you see, she was 5'10" with a bubble butt. Bitch, and then you got this white girl on the screen with no booty. Shake it. Like, that's the shit that blows me, because I'm just like, do you not see the shit that you put out there, and you don't see the problem with that? Like, there's so many videos where you're the only black person in your work and you don't see a problem with that.
Right.
But whatever.
Maybe he's not as woke as most of us are. And I'm glad that we actually had this conversation because my viewpoint on the backlash that Todrick got from this entire encounter and this entire cameo that he made with Taylor Swift was a little different. But having this dialogue with you kind of like it shifted. It shifted my original thought process on it. So now I'm able to understand because, again, I never really featured Todrick. I mean, he's cute. His eyes are cute. He can sing down. He can dance down. But I never really featured him. You know, I would see his little clips in his little videos, and I would just play him for a few minutes, and then I was over it. But, like, now that, again, we've had this dialogue, things are starting to make a little more sense. So, yes, Miss Todrick, girl, get with the program, honey. Increase their representation. Be like Rihanna and Beyonce. And, yeah. Mm-hmm. Representation, bitch. Inclusivity. But anyways, now is the time for our vent session. Hope I really don't have anything to vent about, girl. Do you have anything to vent about?
Bitch. I feel like I know I do. I know I can't. I
can't.
What the fuck it was, but I know you do. I know, and it was a good one, and I can't think about what the fuck it was that I wanted to vent about. So, bitch, it ain't really a little piece of tea that I had got, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm waiting on the rest of the tea to come out. But
girl, what's tea?
Yeah, how Tinashe got turned away from Rihanna's party?
No, bitch. When did this happen?
So, allegedly. Actually showed up to Rihanna's Fenty Puma party, and she was cute. She was in a sexy little piece that I hope the skies would have rocked. It was real cute, real nice. And she pops up to the thing, and like there's pictures of you like seeing her go to the front door, and she's all happy, you know, like, oh bitch, I'm gonna go to this party, just real happy. And then bitch, like 5 minutes later, there are pictures of her like on the curb waiting for her car to come back. So alleged by Lily, right? She went to the door and was told by Rihanna's people that she was not on the list for the party. There was no malice intended behind it, but bitch, she wasn't on the list. And even though she was Tinashe, she couldn't get on the list. So I was
like, bitch, she must not have received. She must not have received that invite, bitch. Rihanna said you can't sit with us.
And now I'm like, bitch, I want to know. Like, what is there a beef? Like, did Tinashe do some shit, bitch? Like, what the fuck? Let me know. So I'm just waiting on the full story to go ahead and they say that they reached out to both of their PR teams to find out what happened. And bitch, I'm gonna be all over
it. Yeah, I'm interested to know what that tea is too. I don't have anything to vent about. You know, I try not to, you know, hold it in. I have a new lease on life. I'm trying not to be stressed out, you know. Try not to pop open this bottle of Hennessy and stuff, you know.
You know. You know what? On that note, thank you guys for tuning in. Please be sure to tune into our Big Sister channel and watch pretty soon, but listen to both of the podcasts over at intotheblaze.com. And we cannot wait to talk to you guys next week.
Goodbye.